Bueno, muy buenas tardes a todas las personas que nos acompañan a esta sesión informativa. Hoy contamos con Ohio State University y con la representante que nos va a contar información de utilidad sobre el proceso de admisión, requisitos y en este caso la oferta académica que tiene esta universidad. Recuerden que tiene un convenio con Colfuturo que les puede otorgar un beneficio en el valor de su matrícula, así que si están interesados en poder acceder a alguno de esos beneficios, pueden postularse al programa Crédito Beca, cuya convocatoria abre el 9 de enero del 2024 y cerrará el 29 de febrero del mismo año. Así que si alguno llega a estar interesado en esos descuentos, están invitados a postularse a una próxima convocatoria. Y sin más información adicional, quiero agradecerle a la panelista por estar el día de hoy aquí y les recomiendo que cualquier duda, pregunta, pueden escribir en la cajita de Q&A y al final vamos a resolver cada una de esas inquietudes. Así que sin más introducción, thank you so much, Pam, for being here, and you can go ahead and start your presentation.
Thank you, lady, for inviting me to speak with your students. So hi, everyone. My name is Cha Pham. I am the Assistant Dean for International and Graduate Affairs at the Ohio State University, Moritz College of Law. My background was pretty much tied to the LLM world. And therefore, my presentation today will focus pretty much on the LLM program for international students, and also a summer course offering at our law school. So 20 years ago, I was also a law student in my home country in Vietnam, very far away from here. And I started my study abroad adventure 3 years after my law school graduation. And after practicing law for law firms, I went to Europe and lived there for 9 years to do my LLM and my PhD in international investment law. And then I moved to the US with my husband, doing another LLM in the US, taking the New York bar exam as an LLM student. And then I dedicated my career to leading LLM programs before at law school in Washington, D.C. And 2 years ago, I started to work for the Ohio State University. So today, I would like to share with you for the first 10 minutes, I would like to share with you my personal advice, my advice based on my personal experience, as well as based on my professional experience, having interacted with so many LLM students over the past 10 years. I've been able to put together a few pieces of advice for those of you who are considering going to the US to study law. So the first advice I have for you is that you need to know your goals very well. It sounds like a very, inevitable advice, but I really think that knowing your goals means that you really know deeply what you would like to do abroad. Just a general vague idea of, I want to the US, I want to go and obtain more advanced legal knowledge of law. I think that's a bit too general. Going to the US studying law, either in a JD program or in an LLM program, is a very big financial and mental and time investment. So you need to really know to know whether the US is the place where your goals will be, you will be able to achieve your goals. So knowing your goals would help you form a strategic plan of where to go, what program to apply for, what city, what country, what school, and then what would be your plan to accomplish your goal. For example, if you want to find a job in the US after you graduate from a law program in the US, there should be a plan of action. And that is what you will determine based on your goals. And then the second advice is do your research very well. Research your destination based on your goals. Now, if you have been able to determine that US is your goal, then and then, for example, you will apply for an LLM program or even a JD program, then I would think that the most important thing is to look at the reputation and the ranking of the university and its programs. So in the US, in order to find a job, especially if you want to uh, apply for a JD program, ranking is very important. Employers and law firms pay a lot of attention to ranking of the law school. So for the LLM program, it's less important in terms of the ranking of the law school, but the ranking of the program at that law school is important. For example, if you want to focus on international human rights, so look at the ranking of the human rights specialty in the US news ranking. If your program, you are interested in alternative dispute resolution, look at the ranking of the alternative dispute resolution in US for your LLM program. If you do not want to pursue a concentration, then just look at overall ranking of the law school, because that's where the curriculum will come into play, where the faculty will come into play. Okay, so after you look at the reputation and the ranking, look at the faculty. Again, if you are interested in intellectual property law, look at the profile of the faculty teaching intellectual property law in that school. Look at their legal education, legal background, look at their scholarship, their publications, their teaching, but also look in general, look at the student and faculty ratio. Sometimes the law school's website do not post specific information about the ratio, but you can email the program coordinator or the program admissions team to ask this question. And I would recommend you to even make a virtual meeting with the admission team to ask this question. They will be able to give you much more detailed information rather than through the website to see what is the size. Because I want to emphasize the faculty-student ratio, because you would need more attention. You will receive much more attention from the faculty if the student and the faculty ratio is smaller. Then after faculty, look at the curriculum of the program where you're applying for. For example, if you want to specialize in an area of law during your LLM program, you will look at the specializations that they offer. Look at how flexible the curriculum is. Would the curriculum allow you to take certain courses that you would want to? Would they allow you to take courses with the JD students, or in case you apply for the LLM program, you would only take courses with the LLM programs only? Would there be a lot of experiential learning courses? How about the by-exam support? And in case you apply for the LLM program, would there be an opportunity for you to transfer to the JD program later after the LLM program? Another very important factor for you to look at when you consider studying in the US is cost. Tuition is tuition and scholarship, that is always the first thing you would look at, right? How much you would get out of tuition to offset the tuition cost. However, living expenses is also important, right? Like sometimes you would look at the tuition, it's very cheap, it's affordable. It's good, but then look at the living expenses of the city where the school is located as well. Again, if you cannot find this information on the internet, make an appointment with the admissions team. I would say that a good admission team is a team that would be willing to meet with you and answer these practical questions. Okay, so the goal for in our work, in our administrators' work, if the goal is to help students make the best decision for themselves. The goal is not only to attract you to our program, but is to give you the best information you could have to make the decision for yourself. Then look at the location, the size of the city. Are you comfortable living in a very small city and very quiet city, rural city, or you prefer a bigger city? How about the safety? Do you care a lot about safety, or you are fine with a more a city that is not as safe? Do you care about diversity? You want to live in a city where there's not only American people, but also students from different countries, and job opportunity. Another important thing that sometimes international students do not think of, when they do the research is the student support. As an international student, there is a lot of hardship at the beginning. There are a lot of new things that you have to learn in a new environment. So if you go to a program or to a school where international student support is not in place, or where the team taking care of the international student is not paying care and individual support to international students, it could be tough for you to start your life, your student life at the beginning. So look at that and look at how, whether there are activities for you to connect with local JD students, with the faculty, any alumni network. So all these questions, take note of this and then make an appointment with the admissions team to ask this question. Campus life, look at whether there's on-campus housing, how about student organizations, how about campus safety. All these are very important. So these are the most important elements that you should consider and you should get information for before you make a decision to join a program. Of course, sometimes some students make the decision because they think that it's a big city, so they can find a job. They think that because a lot of people from their home country is there, so it's good. And I do not say that those students are wrong. I'm just saying that there are more important factors to consider if you are serious about going to the US and achieve your goals. Then you should look at these factors other than the factor just that it's a big city or there are many people from Colombia, for example, being there. So now I could move to the second part of my presentation is to present to you the academic offerings at Moritz. We have the JD degree, which is a 3-year degree program for students who would come here and then would want to do a full intensive legal education in the US. If this is an equivalent to your 5-year legal educations in Colombia. And then we also offer an LLM degree, which is a degree for students who already have a law degree from their home country. For example, a law degree from Colombia to come to the US for a year, for 2 semesters to complete the LLM degree and earn a Master of Law degree. And then we also have a short summer, 3-week summer certificate program called the Foundation of US Law Practice, which takes place every year in June for you to have an exposure to the US law in a short period of time at a much lower cost, and the visa process also is just a tourist visa. So my focus today will only talk about LLM degree and the summer certificate program because these are the 2 programs I'm leading. Unfortunately, my colleague who leads the JD program is not able to join me today. So if you have questions about the JD program, please feel free to email me, which is included in this presentation, and which I will ask a lady to email to you. I can connect you with my JD colleague to advise you on the JD degree option. So the LLM program, this is a picture of our Moritz College of Law based in Columbus. And as you see, the building looks like a boat, like a ship. And then the kind of the meaning behind this building when the architect designed this building is that it's moving forward, a ship moving forward with a head moving forward. And that is our kind of mission, is to build everything innovative, build an innovative law school to help everyone move forward. So our LLM program is, I'm proud to share that our LLM program is part of our very reputed law school. Moritz College of Law is ranked number 1 law school in Ohio, and number 22 law school in the entire US. So the US News ranking this year released our new ranking. We are ranked number 22. And our alternative dispute resolution program ranked number 2 after Harvard Law University in the US. So the LLM program is built upon the JD curriculum. So our LLM curriculum consists of mostly JD classes. this means that LLM students will be taking classes with JD students, and the curriculum, the expectations, the pedagogy, everything that the LLM receive would be of equal quality to what JD students receive. So because you are treated equally as JD students, that means that you have access to experiential learning courses such as clinics, externship, moot court competitions, and all those simulation courses. You can select, and we reserve seats for LLM students to be participating in these classes. I would like to highlight that of these experiential learning courses, the externship one is the most popular among our LLM students because you can go off campus and work for a company or work for an NGO during your LLM to earn credits, but at the same time also to earn hands-on experience. Also, our curriculum offers a very extensive list of by-exam courses because you are literally, basically, you are admitted, you are able to take JD classes, including by-exam courses. So this allows LLM students to combine the concentration track with the by-exam track. I would move to this slide. The concentration we have for LLM student here as 6: alternative dispute resolution, corporate law, criminal law, employment law, IP law, and international and comparative law. So you can take a combination of concentration courses, like the courses in any field of concentration you want to have, and combine it with the by-exam track. Or you don't have to go with the concentration. You just pick whatever courses you want, including the by-exam courses. We have enough. You can take by-exam for California, for DC, for New York, for Ohio, with the by-exam courses that we offer you. Of course, whether you are eligible to take the by-exam in those jurisdictions is a separate matter. And I will not dive into here because that would come after you are admitted to an LLM program. But I just wanted to let you know that you have access to all the by-exam courses at the Moritz College of Law. And then in regards to the by-exam preparation, this by-exam will give you to give you a very strong foundation ahead of time to prepare for the by-exam. And then at the end of your program, when you're ready to take the by-exam, you will receive a free bar prep course, which is a very large bar prep course in the US. JD students have equal access to the same bar prep course like you. So you would have really a very good bar prep course to prepare for your by-exam. Now, if you don't choose to take the by-exam after LLM, but you want to transfer to the JD, we have this option as well. You can, the advantage of doing the JD transfer is that you can, you don't have to do 3 years. You only have to do 2 years because you can transfer a lot of credits from your LLM program into the JD program. And then you don't have to take the law school admission test, which is a very difficult test. You can apply to the JD transfer because you can prove to the admission committee that without the law school admission test, you can still do well because you do well in the LLM program. So this is a very, this is an option that every semester our LLM students take advantage of to transfer to the JD program. In addition to the LLM curriculum, the curriculum where you can really take advantage of because it is offered also to the JD students, we offer LLM students a very, very strong student support system. We have really highly accessible student support system. For example, our faculty have office hour for every student in their class. As an assistant dean myself, I offer weekly office hour and offer drop-in appointments so that you can come and talk with me about any matter you have. My team also have office hours for you, and pretty much like we don't really need you to make an appointment. You can drop in. If it's a quick conversation, we can talk with you. If it's an in-depth conversation, we'll make an appointment with you for the second time. So it's very flexible, and we really strongly believe in individual advising and support. So we are happy, and we really encourage you to come to us for any matter you have. And I think that like caring for international students is what I believe in. I was an LLM student myself, and I have been advising LLM students for the past 10 years. So I really think that you, as an international student, you have different needs from the JD students. So we do really care a lot for international students. So we also give students career advising and professional development workshops where you can be connected with practitioners, with alumni, but also to learn soft skills on how to look for jobs. Our support is so very comprehensive. We do not only pay attention to organizing activities among LLM students. We also want you to connect with the outside world beyond LLM students. So you would have a faculty resource advisor at the law school. You would be able to join the mentoring program where you will be meeting and match with practitioners who would be your mentor. You could have JD legal writing fellows in your legal research and writing class who will be not only your mentor, but also can teach you how to write in legal English, in the US style. You will be connected with JD friends through the LMJD connection group. So there are a lot of programming initiatives to help you connect with LLM JD faculty and practitioners. In addition to the student support, the academic life, I think campus life is very, very important. So at OSU, we offer on-campus housing. Of course, on-campus housing is very limited. So if you apply for the LLM program, and as soon as you get admitted, we always encourage you to apply for on-campus housing. So that you right away, even you don't have to wait until you make the decision to join Moritz or not. You can just apply for on-campus housing. If you join Moritz, you will take it. You can take it or refuse and go to off-campus housing. Or if you don't join Ohio State, then they are not gonna hold you to anything. So in terms of the cost of living, the campus life here at Ohio State is very pleasant because it's affordable compared to bigger cities. With 1,200, you can already afford food and housing a month. If you live on campus, it's a little bit more expensive because on-campus housing is more expensive. So and then it's about $1,500 a month. For those of you who love football and who love American sports, this is a campus for sports lovers. OSU is among the top American college football and basketball teams, so it's a very vibrant campus when it comes to sports activity. So if you love sports, you are in a good spot at Ohio State University. The university also have a very, very advanced and modern recreational center where you can find any sports that you can think of. We also have swimming pools, tennis courts, all the machines, running machine, anything that you could think of. It's very, very, it's a state-of-the-art center. And then you can join sports clubs, competitive team, and individual sports. You can also join the student organization on campus, either at the law school or at the university. The city itself is also part of campus life. The campus of Ohio State is centered in the city of Columbus, very near to tourist areas, very near to the downtown area, and there are a lot of activity in the city. It is the 40th largest city in the country. It's not the largest. It's not a mega city like Boston, Los Angeles, DC, New York, Texas, Houston. But it's big enough for you to kind of having a feel of the city life, but also not overwhelming. And it's very manageable for 2 semesters of study. you will feel that like you can take a lot out of the city. So I'm just trying, this is the building of the student, the recreation center, the one that I just mentioned. It's huge. And then this is where you can do your activities, and you can have lunch in there. There's a cafeteria inside. So it's very good to take advantage of. This is a swimming pool inside the gym. Okay. So that is just the nutshell of our LLM program offerings. I could go over how you can apply for the LLM program. So unfortunately, at our law school, you can only apply via the Law School Admission Council. It's called LSAC. It is a very lengthy process because you have to submit a lot of paperwork to LSAC, and it's so expensive because LSAC charge you fees. However, the advantage of applying through LSAC is that you pay this fee only one time, and then you can have that your account for 5 years, and then you can apply for as many law schools in the US as possible. So when you pay one fee, you do not only apply for Moritz College of Law, you can apply for any other law school by applying through LSAC. Our law school give you a law school application fee waiver, but of $50. But besides that, other fees from LSAC, you would have to pay yourself. In addition to the application form, you would have to submit the academic records. The minimum English requirements for TOEFL at our school is 80, for IELTS is 65, and for Duolingo is 105. Starting for 2024, the Duolingo score will be 120. Then we require you to submit 2 letters of recommendation, 1 resume, a statement of purpose, and a scholarship essay if required. The deadline for the fall application is June 1st, and if you want to apply for a half scholarship, it's March 1st. For spring application, is October 15th, and for scholarship, deadline September 1st. Before I move into the costs and the tuition and the scholarship, I wanted to highlight a few things. When you write your statement of purpose, this is my advice, having reviewed so many statement of purposes for the past 10 years, I would like you to focus very on 2 things. When you write your statement of purpose, make sure that you use the statement of purpose to make yourself stand out and therefore increase your chance of being admitted to the school of your choice. The first is you need to address why do you think the program you are applying for will help you achieve your goals, right? So you address, of course, you always address why you are applying for this program. But more important is, why do you think this program is going to help you? Help you with your career goals, help elevate your experience, your skills, and your accomplishments. We love to hear how we can help you. We know that you do research about our school, and you know very well why you apply, and we are interested in hearing why you are applying. It's important. But we also want to hear how we can help you, because we can see then whether it would be a good fit for our group, right? If you expect, for example, if you expect the program to help you with get a job in the field of space law, for example, and our program doesn't have a strong space law curriculum, then we could see right away that we are not able to achieve your goals, right? So that is not a good fit right there. So it's very important for us to know how we can help you. And the second thing is that you can address why the program should admit you. This is where you can highlight your strengths. Why, in terms of your experience, in terms of your contribution to the legal field, in terms of your ambition, in terms of your initiative, your creative ideas, what you could do for your future and for the future as an alumni of law school. All this you should address in your statement of purpose, okay? You can include your personal stories, but only include it if it helps illustrate your skills, your strong, your career goals. Don't just include the personal stories because you think that it can relate with the reader. it's more like how your personal story relates to your goals. For the scholarship essay, if a school asks you to write a scholarship essay, make sure that you can reuse certain information that you put in your statement of purpose, but do not repeat. Some students have made a mistake and just copy and paste from the personal statement or the statement of purpose into the scholarship essay, and that is not very ideal to read the same thing again. You can tell right away that you are not being creative, right? And also address the questions or the requirements, the prompts of the essay questions. If we ask you to address certain topic, you have to do that. Don't just address it general and only address the question at the very end. Dedicate your whole essay to address that question, okay? And then one thing that you should avoid when you include in your scholarship essay is that don't write an ultimatum. And this is real life. Some students wrote this. They'll be like, I won't be able to attend your school without this scholarship. We all know that you apply for this scholarship because you want to have it. It help you go, but we are more interested in your in reading why you deserve this scholarship, right? Of course, some students, some schools will give you a need-based scholarship. Then they will ask you specifically, say, why do you think that you would need this? Because based on your needs. When that is the question, you can say, yes, I don't have money. I have very few, not much income. But if the scholarship is merit-based, then we are more interested in reading about your merit and not about the fact that you don't have money, and without this scholarship, you are not outgoing. Okay. And then for the letters of recommendation, you can submit the recommendation letter either from 2 professors or from 2 employers, but we highly recommend you to submit one letter from a professor or one from the employer, or both should be from professors. Because we want to understand your academic capabilities. So letter of recommendations at least from 1 professor. Okay, so high profile recommenders are an advantage, but equally important is to choose someone who knows you very well, who can speak to you with personal knowledge. And not a general recommendation letter will have less advantage than a letter where the recommender can tell many details about your academic capabilities, your personality, your ambition, your professional experience. Okay, and most schools require the letters to be put on a letterhead and with an original signature from the recommenders, and follows the instructions from the program. If they require you to follow certain templates, certain format, certain types of font, or whatever the formatting requirement is, follow that instructions, because we always really can tell whether a student pays attention to details or not, and it reflects in your ability to perform well later in the program. Because when you study law here, it requires a lot of attention to details. So if you cannot even comply with application instructions, that says a lot about your ability to pay attention to details. Okay. So now I would go with the cost of attendance for our LLM programs at Moritz College of Law. For this year, the non-resident, meaning for international students living outside of the US, it's $50,000 for tuition. Health insurance is $3,500, book and supplies, and then housing and meals and other expenses. As I mentioned earlier, if you know how to, like if you can find a cheaper housing and you cook yourself, you can live with $1,200 a month in Columbus. So this estimate is the official estimate from the school for you to apply for the visa. But in reality, your housing and meals and other expenses are not as high. I talked to a lot of students, and yesterday, for example, we had a happy hour for the LLM students, and they all say that these estimates are very high, and they're just for the purpose of applying for the visa. Okay, So for the scholarships, we have here, I put it here for Kofuturo awardees, we have an agreement with Kofuturo. So if Kofuturo awardee come to us, applies and get admitted, we will give you 50 tuition scholarship automatically, which is about $25,000. If you are not Kofuturo awardee, you can apply for the Moritz Excellence Scholarship, 50%, and one essay is required. If you do not submit any essay, it will be considered for up to 40%. I would say up to 40% here, meaning that you do not really get 40% oftentimes. Usually, we give this 40% to students who apply for Moritz Excellence Scholarship and who do not get it, right, for different reasons. Then we would kind of like give the student 40%. So on average, we give students Moritz LLM scholarship between 20 and 30% of the tuition, which is up to about $18,000 for tuition. So for example, if the tuition is 50,000, you can get either 20, you get a scholarship of 25,000 and you pay 25,000, or you get a scholarship of 18,000 and you pay $32,000 for the degree. That is about the LLM program. I want to present very quickly about the summer program. The summer certificate program called Foundation of U.S. Law and Practice is run in June. Every June, it runs for 3 weeks. It's a certificate, non-credit program, and that's why you are not required to apply for F1 visa. You can use your tourist B1 or B2 visa to enter the country for 3 weeks. Now, if you already have a tourist visa, that is ideal, because then you can just easily come to study and do not have to make a long plan in advance. But if you don't have a tourist visa, then you may need, if you are interested in this program, you need to apply for visa way ahead of time because there's a backlog in many countries for tourist visas. And so this program has 3 modules. The first week of June, we teach everything, the basic knowledge of the U.S. legal systems. For example, teaching you about U.S. constitutional law, teaching you about how to do legal research and writing, teach you about how to read a case, how to brief a case, how to present, writing a client email in English, in legal English, etc. Then we move to week 2 to learn only about dispute resolution, about negotiation, arbitration, mediation, international dispute resolution between 2 countries, everything related to dispute resolution, also online dispute resolution. Then we move to week 3 to focus only on corporate and business law. So the nice thing of this structure is that you don't have to take all 3 modules. Most students come for 3 modules, but some students come for only 1. So if you go for 3 modules, it's $700 each week, a total of $2,100 for 3 weeks. And this is only the program fee. Housing is different. It's separate. Living expense is separate. And if you go for 1 week, it's $1,000 for 1 week. The application process is very simple. You complete a very simple online application. No personal statement is required. English score is not required. If you have English scores, we will submit that, but if you don't, we will interview you. And then we can determine if your English is good enough to join the program. And in terms of the living expenses, we arrange on-campus housing for this summer program. And it is at $62 a day. $60 a day with your own, and then there's a shared kitchen. So that is, or you can book an Airbnb, or you can stay in a hotel. So that's it. So I just have a few concluding remarks that about the LLM program. That to me, choosing which LLM program to apply is a personal choice and an important investment decision. So again, back to my first slide, is that make your own goal and do research, and then determine which LLM program is the best fit for you. Talk to as many people as possible. Talk to the admissions team. Talk to your alumni. Talk to an Education USA advisor in your country. Talk to any other educational institution in your country that do that advise international students for studying abroad and including in the US. Make this investment, you own the investment, and the values of an LLM goes a long way. The return of the investment is high, but of course it requires a lot of sacrifices and perseverance. When you are here in the US, take advantage of every offering and every opportunity during your LLM program that the LLM program gives you to achieve your goals. And do not forget to make new relationships besides studying. That's, again, that's your goal. Your goal is not just studying, but your goal is to stay in the US, for example, to find a job, for example, to build new relationship, for example. All this will happen during the 2 semesters of you being in the US studying for your LLM program. So take advantage of them. That's the end of my presentation. I will email this presentation to my to lady, and she will be able to email you my presentation. Okay. So now I will stop sharing, and I will be happy to answer any questions you have.
Yeah, thank you, Pam, for all the information. I already have not many questions, but I have here questions from social media, so I want to share it with you.
Okay.
The first one is about the cost of living. So maybe if you can tell us like an estimated that they have to take into account if they want to live in US to do these kind of programs.
Yeah. So for the cost of living, so for example, it varies, right? I can give you an example for Columbus, where I am for the Moritz College of Law is the cost of living can vary between $1,200 to $1,500 per month. If you want the exact amount, so I'm doing a calculation here. For example, it's let's say August. The program is 9 months, right? So it's from August to December, and then December to May. So it could be 9 months. So 9 months times 1,500. So it's like $13,500 for 9 months at the high end, right? So that is the Columbus. Now, for example, in Washington, D.C., where I lived before, the cost of living could be double, right? So it could be double because everything there is very expensive. If you share an apartment here, for example, in Columbus, you pay $700. But you share an apartment over there, you pay about between $1,600 and $1,800 in Washington, D.C. So that is an idea.
Thank you. Then we have another question. This one is regarding the work experience, and they want to know how easy or how difficult it is to get a job once they finish the LLM program.
Yes, so this is a very common question among international students. So for the job, I don't know if you have heard of the OPT. The OPT for international students who are here on F1 visa is a so-called optional practical training. So this is a 1-year period that the US government allows F1 visa students to stay in the country. For STEM, it's 2 years, but for law, it's for law and social studies and other majors, it's 1 year. So in order to find an OPT job, it's not difficult. I'm not saying that it's easy, but all of our LLM students who want to stay during this year doing OPT, they find something. It is because the OPT requirements very low. It only requires students to find part-time job, and it doesn't have to be paid, right? So a lot of students just find part-time job at first and very low pay to stay, and then kind of like take advantage of the OPT to earn work experience. Now, after the 1-year OPT, that is when it's very difficult because, as you know, that the student would need sponsorship if you don't have a work permit, right? So I would say that finding a job as an LLM student with your work experience, with your credentials, is not easy as long as you, it's not difficult as long as you have work permit. A lot of our students ran into that difficulty, that they don't have H-1B visa. The lottery system is very random. or they cannot apply for the high skill visa like the EB1 or EB2. So they have to find a way to get sponsorship in the first place. And when you apply for a job where the employer see that you will need sponsorship, not all employers are willing. So I would say that applying for a job after the OPT is difficult. Finding a job is difficult.
Good. Thank you. Then I have another question. This one is regarding the requirements. And the first one is if you ask for an essay or an interview, and in which cases they have to present an interview.
For the admission to the LLM program,
Yeah.
it depends on the program. A lot of programs, I cannot know all the programs, but like for example, with my program, we will interview when we think that is necessary. For example, when we think that the student's English is not strong, or when we think that the student's goals in their personal statement are not clear, we don't really know what this student is trying to achieve in this program, or when we think that we want to determine whether the student is truly a good fit for our program, then we would interview. Some other programs would require everyone to be interviewed, and I think that's usually the case when the number of application is not large, so they can interview everyone. But when you are in a program where there are a lot of applications, then that's becoming very, very difficult. So I would say that oftentimes interview is only like when the admission teams, on a case-by-case basis, when admission teams think that it's important to interview the candidate.
Good, thanks. And the other questions regarding the requirements is about the language requirement. Can you repeat, like, which exams do you accept for this language requirement?
Yes. So for our LLM program, we accept 3 tests, TOEFL, IELTS, and Duolingo. Duolingo recently has been very popular among many applicants because Duolingo seems to be easier than TOEFL and IELTS, and they are cheaper and it's easier to schedule the test, and then it's online. You don't have to go to a testing site to get it. So my school accepts Duolingo as well. Some other programs do not accept Duolingo, and so just read the instructions on each program. For TOEFL, our minimum requirement is 80. For IELTS, our minimum requirement is 6.5. For Duolingo, our requirement for for spring 2024 and is 105, but starting for 2024, it's 120.
Okay, good. And the last question about requirements, they're asking me if you ask for like a specific time of experience in the field of law, if you ask for that in the case. Okay.
Yes, so it's a very good question. So we do not require experience to be admitted, because we would base a lot on your activities or your experience during law school. Sometimes you don't have to have an internship, but you can join moot court competitions. So you have some hands-on practice during your study. And then we also look at your GPA, right? So sometimes if you don't have good work experience, your GPA has more weight in the consideration. But I think the experience also is important for us to kind of determine whether you are a good fit, and also like the amount of scholarship that would give you, right? So if you have a lot of experience, then it makes your profile stronger. Then you receive more higher amount of scholarship, but it's not required for any. Yeah, it's not required, because we understand that there are young students, right, who just graduated, and we understand that young students must have an opportunity. If you don't give them an opportunity, when would they have that, right? So we cannot just exclude the recent graduates from being admitted.
Good, thank you. And then we're gonna move to another question, and he's asking if do you offer an LLM with a concentration in taxation or in taxes?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have a taxation concentration. This is a very specialized area. And I know that there are other schools like Georgetown or Fordham or NYU, they have really one taxation concentration, very strong. And I could recommend him to look at those programs. So I recommend that you go to LSAC website, Law School Admission Council, or go to Google and type in LLM taxation. There could be top programs listed there for taxation.
Good. And then the next question, I have it here. And the person is asking, as an international student, what can you tell us about that experience? What piece of advice can you share with us?
Yeah. So I'd say, like, as an international student, there are many things, but I'm trying to kind of be short, be like more succinct. So as an LLM international student, I think one of the important things is try like to show your diligence. Especially in the US, professors here appreciate very much students who really show them that you are here to study. So I was working full time, but I was still doing in the LLM. But even though I came to class being very prepared, I read everything that was assigned. I participated actively in the classroom. I follow up with the professor during office hours to ask questions. And I remember when I graduated, a professor who came to me and said that, you know what, if you need any help, I would help you because you are one of the best students I had. So I'm just saying that, like I know that studying hard is hard, but just take your study very seriously. If you want to go to succeed in the US, that is the first thing you have to do, show your seriousness. Second, I will advise you, like what I advised you at the beginning of the presentation, you need to make a goal. If you go to a program without a goal, you are not going to achieve your goal. If you go to program just to study with a goal to study, that is not a goal. You need to say, yes, I want to go to this program. I want to do OPT job. I want to stay in the US and look for a job. And then build a plan. When the first plan is go to the correct program, the program that's the best fit for you. Talk to everyone, do your research. That's your job. Do research and then go to the right program. And then when you get to the program, talk right away with the program, the LLM program team. They will help you build the plan, and then they will be kind of like your mental support and for you to achieve your plan, and then guide you through different resources. But without a plan, you are not going to achieve it. And I learned this from myself, and I learned this from my students. Every student of mine who made a plan succeeded. So that is the one thing. And my third advice is try to make friends with your classmates and with people outside your classmates, because they are the one who will be your network in the future. If they will become very successful in the future, right? So in the program, you make friends with the JD student. For example, a lot of those JD students would later become a politician, would later become a big partner at a law firm, very high up in the law firm, and they will be your friend. So some of our LM students are very shy, never come out, never make friends, only study. And to me, you miss a big part of your student life as an international student. You come here to experience life. You come here not to just study. That's why I said, don't set studying to be your goal. Be more open-minded, set a broader goal for yourself. That is the most important advice I have for you.
Thank you, Pam. That was a really good advice. And then I'm just gonna conclude the presentation with one of our questions from Carl Futuro. And the question is, like, what is the ideal student that you are looking for? How would you describe that ideal student?
Yeah. So I think, thank you for your question. So an ideal student for us is first, like, have really good academic records. That's the first thing we could look at. And second is that, again, work experience is something that I like to see, but it's not a must. And then also I want to see if the student have expectations or goals that we can help you with, because I want students to be able to succeed, to become a very, very good alumni, and to be able to use our alumni to, to boost our reputation. So I really want students to, when I interview the student or I read the personal statement, I would like to see if the students is really the type of student who would be able to thrive in our academic environment, who would be able to take advantage of our curriculum to really perform and succeed in our program, and who would be able to kind of take what they learn and get out of into the society and make a contribution, make a meaningful contribution to the community. That is what we are looking for, and that aligns with our law school's mission, is to have trained generation of lawyers who can go and make advanced justice and make meaningful contribution to the community wherever you are. It can be your home country, it can be a third country, it can be the US.
Good. So with that questions, we conclude the presentation. Thank you so much again for being here and sharing all this information. And we expect that all the participants have the chance to hear all the information. And if you have more questions, I don't know if you can share us your email or a contact email for those people who want to have a contact with you or with the recruitment team.
Yes, so where should I send the presentation and my email to? Do you have a list?
Good.
Or to you?
Yeah, you can send it to me.
Okay, yes, I will send you my presentation, and in my presentation, I will
That's
have
your
the
email.
contact.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can send it to your audience.
Okay, good. Thank
Okay.
you. So that's all for today. Thank you so much and have a
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.